Hi, my name's Don Nichols. I practiced law in the Twin Cities of Minneapolis, St. Paul for 45 years, and when I got to be approaching 70, I realized I needed to do something with my life after law practice. And I've always enjoyed woodworking. In fact, when we built our cabin, I used all the leftover wood and bought myself a little contractor saw and started making tables and shelves and whatever. And then as I approached 70, I started planning out my dream wood shop, and that's what I built. Shortly after finishing it, I went to a Rockler store and saw a demo of a CNC machine, and it was basically a kind of a hobby. I'd call it a hobbyist CNC machine. It was a smaller aluminum driven with a router or whatever. And I soon realized the limitations of that, and when Rockler came out with a bigger one, a more substantial one, I bought that. And then a few years back, a friend of mine showed me the Maverick. He just showed me in the catalog at the time. He had an Artie, and he was currently upgrading to a Maverick, and said, "Why don't you get one too?" And first I kind of choked on the price because it was a bit more than I thought I should have, because I'm just a hobbyist. I'm not in this for the money. I'm not trying to make any money. I'm not trying to sell anything. I just want to do things for fun. But I bought it, and I just want to tell you a few things that caused me to buy it. First of all, the thing is rock solid, and that may not seem important at the beginning, but when you're doing a lot of milling and precision work and inlays and things like that, the construction matters, because you don't want it to wiggle. You want it to cut the exact same every time. The other features that really sold me on it was this vertical vise. I use the vertical vise to make my drawers. I'll show you that in a little bit. And the turning center. I don't have a lathe in my shop, but I really like this turning center, and I've made some cool things with that, and I'll show you those too. But anyway, that's how I got to this thing. I can't say enough good about the company itself. Support is excellent. I've had really almost no problems because, like I said, this is my third CNC, so a lot of beginner's mistakes I've made on my other machines. Didn't have to make them on this one. But anyway, the support's great. The training's great. Every week they have some pretty interesting stuff. The company's run by fairly knowledgeable people, and they're awful nice people for that matter. I've been out to the classes there and really enjoyed it. And I've enjoyed communicating with everybody out there. So anyway, that's part of the reason I bought this. I have no regrets whatsoever. If I had to do over again, I would skip steps 1 and 2 and go directly to the Maverick. But I'm not sorry I did it. I learned and, like I said, made a lot of mistakes on my earlier machines. So you're going to make mistakes with something this complicated, but it's a pretty wonderful machine, and a lot of people go, "Oh, you do such amazing woodworking. You're just amazing." And I enjoy hearing that, of course, but the truth of the matter is I just learned how to run the CNC, so I can do amazing stuff that no ordinary woodworker could ever dream of. So that's how I got here. So I thought I'd show you a few of the things I do. One kick I've been on lately is decorating my drawers. A lot of times in cabinetry, in fact most of the time, I find people ignore drawers. They don't bother trying to make them look nice. They're just happy if they, for example, put a dovetail, use dovetails for joinery or something. But I've tried to expand on that, and a couple things I've done some mortise and tenon joinery, which is illustrated in this picture right here. I use the vertical vise to do that, to make the tendons on the one end, and usually obviously use the the bed to make the holes for the tendons to fit in. And then at the same time, I run a groove down the side and put inlay in that. And sometimes I even put a picture or something in the bottom of the drawer. Makes it it's just something you can do with the CNC that you wouldn't dream of doing otherwise. I also promised you I would show you the what I've done with the turning center, and this is actually I used all 5 axes to do this. I made a hollow spiral piece of walnut, and then I inserted in the middle of it some box elder so I could hide the cord, and then on the top and bottom it's tapered. If you look at it closely, it's tapered. It's a little bit less at the top than it is at the bottom, and put spalted maple base and a spalted maple top, and then an LED light in the top. And it's for I have it in my cabin. But again, it's a unique piece that I couldn't even dream of making any other way than on this machine. So it's quite a nice thing. Another thing I really like about a CNC is if you want to make a circle, it's just a nothing deal. This obviously on the lamp I just showed you, the base and the top involved making some circles and milling them a certain way so that I could use them for base and the top. It's just literally a nothing project. Another thing I make a lot of are lazy Susans. What I do is I have a insert in the middle of the lazy Susan, and then I put their wedding. I use them for wedding presents mainly, and give them put the insert with the date of their wedding and their name, and then maybe Happy New Year or Merry Christmas or whatever in the other inserts, and then I put those inserts, the extra inserts, in a box. It makes a very nice wedding present. Very unique. I don't have to worry about somebody else giving them one like that. And I like it. I like it. Finally, another thing I do with my drawers, getting back to my drawers, is I make a lot of my own handles. The handle here I'm going to show you in this picture is one I call a zero clearance. I have it on a lot of my shop cabinets because I don't want to catch my pants when I walk by a cabinet in the shop. And these are very handsome. They're made out of Mexican ebony and just a simple cut right on the CNC. I also make more traditional handles. In fact, every time I come across an interesting piece of wood, I save it and I make a handle out of it. And I have a whole drawer full of these handles I make. So those are a few things. Here's a ring box, another simple thing, easy to make on a CNC. This one again is made out of Mexican ebony, and see the perfect letter in the top is made with box elder. I wanted the contrasting very light wood with the dark wood, and made a ring box for a friend. And of course, I'm a hero for making stuff like this. But that's just a few things I do in my shop. I found the longer I have my CNC, everything starts now on the CNC. It no longer used to be maybe I start thinking about it on the table saw, but now when I think of a project, and I don't make 2 of the same things twice usually. I try to make everything unique. But it starts on the CNC and ends there. I just want to show you one more thing, and that's a couple of cutting blocks. Notice the inlay in the middle of that. That's done with turquoise inlay and epoxy. But beautiful cutting blocks cutting boards that I made for, actually I made it for a charity event. And I think they sold for $70 or something at this charity event, something ridiculous. But you can do a lot of neat things on your CNC you couldn't dream of doing otherwise, especially the Maverick with its vertical vise and the turning center. But anyway, that's all I have for you. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.